Okay, everybody, we've covered DOM manipulation, and now it's time to go a little bit deeper into Ajax with jQuery. In this week's lesson, I've put a file that will have sort of a harvesting file for all the types of Ajax calls that can be made with jQuery. So it only works on a server because of the security regulations with Ajax. So just as a side note, you can use, I enjoy Vagrant for local development. Um, that is pretty much an easy install. You could add a README file, and you'll be good to go. Also, if you want an even more simple install of a local server, MAMP or XAMPP will be good for both Mac and PC. Either one gets the okay for the type of work we're doing in this course. So I've included a few methods in here. The load method, where we're going to be loading external content. We can load to specific elements of a DOM, and I'll go over the code in just a second. We use get, post, load with a callback, and this is the data that we're pulling back. And we can actually get an outside script, which is all this is covered in our lecture. And we can use get and post. So let's take a look at the code. I'm going to go right to my server, and I'll keep the PHP sort of on the down low as we go over the Ajax content ourselves. Anyway, so what I've got here is just demos. And when we scroll down, we can get each one. So one thing about this, the Ajax setup, the cache false, with get method, I probably mentioned this in the lecture, but get method will retain a cache and post won't. So jQuery, again, is cross-browser compliant, so it actually has a cache property for Ajax setups. So anyway, moving forward, let's do load.php. So what this first one is, and these are all attached to our basic load methods, but our URL here, ajax.load.php, is nothing more than the picture of yours truly and some content. So every time we call that, we're going to be calling that one block of code here. So as far as this, the variable Ajax load is the loading GIF, and this works in unison with each other. So these are the load functions, and I'm simply loading that external URL. So we're getting here it is right here, and that's loaded. So when you want to take a good look at it too, always look at the network tab, and you can get the XML HTTP request right here, and you can actually see what's going on, whether it uses it and what the speed is. So here we just did load, and we grabbed the Ajax demo/Ajax folder, and there's the speed. So when I develop an Ajax, and I do a lot of it, I like to keep the console open and work with anything that takes a long time to do is a problem. So you want to fix that. So this is loading the DOM, and if you take a look, we're doing the same Ajax load with the GIF, and then loading the URL plus the hashtag picture. So basically, remember, our URL is the this right here. So we're just adding the actual element, which is div ID picture. And if you go to that page on load, you'll see that I do have an ID of picture on the anchor tag around the pic. So because I've loaded that, I've actually got a link to it and everything. So we can load elements of the DOM just by adding the hashtag to that URL, because remember, load at its heart is using get method. We're loading it via get. And vice versa, we've got load URL. We can add variables to things, query strings, just to get the content back. So this is also the load method with get. So we've got load basic, load DOM, load get, and this is going to be very similar in the fact that it's loading a post function right here. So